So I would like to ask that question again, just so that I get matters straight tonight.
If you have an issue with Mr. Hale, you can take up with him at another time. If you have something you wish to discuss with the council, discuss that now.
Thank you, Mr. Green. I will simply repeat what I asked Mr. Hale several times, several different ways. Again, if I could without interruption, and I won't ask any specific questions, and that includes you, Mr. Green. I asked Mr. Hale if at any time, he has been the treasurer for many years, if the city treasurer has at any time, or would for any reason, cash or deposit a check into the city bank accounts that was not written to the city of Marion. To which he replied several ways, absolutely not. The answer was no. Said 5 times, it was still no. In recent investigation, what I have uncovered, for 3 minutes. In recent investigation, what I have uncovered is of such an alarming nature that it's safe to assume the entire town is going to want to know what and why. So, just because I know you hate opinions, we will stick to the facts. These are a selection of property tax bills located in the Marion Heights TIF District number 1, which Doug Bradley approached the city in about 2001 and said that he would buy that property and develop it under a TIF if the city would agree to form a TIF for him, which the city did. That's been going on for 10 years. As would be the normal expected procedure, the city would give the county the TIF name, the county would put the properties within that TIF on register with the county, and the name of Marion Heights TIF 1 would go on those tax bills. As you can see, that did not happen. On the tax bills in front of you, on the tax bills here, you will see, this is the stadium. As a taxing body is listed Marion Heights LLC, which is Doug Bradley, Lynn Holmes. It is a private entity. Marion Heights LLC is not a taxing body. Here are more of what you have in front of you, and I believe there were 26 parcels in that TIF. Further investigation reveals a perusal of the check register obtained from the Williamson County Treasurer's Office. For 7 years, it goes back more than that, but 7 years is what I was allowed to get, copies of which you now have in front of you from 2006 through 2012, with checks, one of the 4 checks to be written this year, already written and dispersed. And shockingly enough, those checks were written to Marion Heights LLC, which is Doug Bradley and Lynn Holmes. I will put those checks in front of you, just so that you will know we are sticking with facts and not opinions. What these represent are 30-some checks from 2006 to 2012 and 13, written to Marion Heights LLC, a private entity. Bad enough. I would like to point out on the property tax bill, 99.9% of the property tax collected goes to Marion Heights LLC. Out of this $508,000 tax collected from the stadium, 99% was $508,620.60 to Doug, Bradley, and Lynn Holmes. And let's see, the school district got $71.78. Menards, $297,000. South Point Bank, at its height, $108,000. The new Holiday Inn, $92,000. The Marriott, $80-some thousand. And I will guess I will have to put that in front of you too. What we have are the backs of those checks. I have 7 of them here, but I have all of them in front of you already. Those checks, Mr. Hale,
As I already
are run.
said,
I am not asking him a question, Mr. Green. Please do not interrupt. I've had enough out of you. Those checks.
I appreciate
Whoa.
that.
Hey, look,
If you have a point, please
Say
make
what
your
you're gonna
point.
It has been 8 minutes. I'm saying what I'm saying. Those checks, as I will use the facts in front of you, and on this, those checks were deposited and run through the City of Marion's bank account, the City of Marion's general funds bank account, where they are commingled with federal grant money, the city millions of dollars of bond money, any other revenue the city gets. The city has a tiff account with U.S. Bank. They didn't put them into the tiff account with U.S. Bank. They didn't do that till 2 years ago. They started putting those tiff monies written to Doug Bradley and Lynn Holmes into the tiff account directly. But guess what? TIF checks don't get written for TIF expenses out of the TIF account. Huge wire transfers come out of the general funds account into other City of Marion accounts, into other accounts. I FOIA'd, I don't have it. I got a letter from, can't say names, but I was handed a letter this evening that it's going to cost thousands of dollars, since I am now a recurrent FOIA, to get the information of what is happening with the taxpayers of Illinois, of Marion, Illinois, our money, mishandled, misappropriated, running through. Now this blew my mind. If you had $1 million coming, any taxpayers here with homes, and you had $1 million coming to you in the form of a check that is legal, we'd cash it, wouldn't we?
If
It
you
is not
have
cashed.
a question for the board, that's what this forum is for. It is not for you to
This-
publish.
I have a
Just
question.
let me finish. You have gone on for 8 minutes talking about what you wish to talk about.
Which is not
You take
45
my
minutes of
picture,
timber
You don't have
discussions.
my permission to do so, okay?
Wow.
You need to
I will form the
focus
question now
on
as soon
a
as you will
question
sit down and
to
let me
the
talk.
board. If you
Let me
don't
talk.
have one, you
I
can
have
be
lots of
excused.
questions, Mr. Green. Here's the first one. How is it possible, council members, mayor, officials of the City of Marion, how is it possible to cash checks not written to the city and run those checks through the City of Marion's bank account in a way that is extremely difficult to follow? How is that not misappropriation of funds, mishandling of, did I mention, $6 million is represented in the checks in front of you that have been written. Now, in the middle of this, I ask, I'm sure you'll be interested, right in the middle 2 years, there are 2 years the checks actually get written to the City of Marion, like all the other 9 TIF districts. And you know what they said? There was a new girl who didn't know the way things were done. And when she left, guess what happened to the typo? It went right back on the books, because this is the way they like it. Okay? So why is it that the money is going through the City of Marion's books? If I got $1 million, I would cash it. So could it be tax evasion? Why are we not supposed to think major corruption, major collusion, all the way from the county courthouse, out the treasurer's office, out the front door, to Steve Hale's office, through the City of Marion's books? What you do in executive closed doors, we would like to know. I know you have meetings on the TIF. Why is it that in the TIF agreement between, by yourselves, between the City of Marion and Marion Heights LLC for this Marion Heights TIF 1 and now TIF 2 districts, why is it that 75% of this 99% he gets, and 25% is kicked back to the City of Marion? Just asking, why should we not be alarmed, and why is that not tax evasion,
Okay.
corruption,
All right.
collusion,
Okay,
fraud, money laundering?
That is enough, Billy. You are accusing the city of all kinds of...
I'm asking questions. I haven't made one accusation and it's been 10 minutes. I'm asking questions.
You've accused the gentleman of money laundering. That is.
I have said, why is it not
You
money
accused
laundering?
him of it.
Really?
Let the record bear witness.
Oh, okay.
I've asked a question, why should we not think that? I'm asking for an answer.
Now, Lily, I'm going to give you an answer. Number one, we have followed the law to the letter. Every step of the way on all of our TIF districts. Every year we are audited. Every year it has been given us a clean bill of health. Now you are accusing us of all kinds of crimes.
I'm simply asking
No, wait a
questions,
minute.
Mr.
No,
Butler.
you're accusing us. Now what you need to do
This
is
looks pretty
go
bad.
to the state's attorney's office and turn what you think you've got over to him.
You have the facts in
Otherwise-
front of you, Mr. Butler. I don't
No,
need
wait a
an
minute.
attorney. We simply want answers.
That's enough.
If it's not money laundering, tax
Lily.
evasion, corruption, tell us why.
Lily, I've
Tell us
told you
why.
all that you need to know, and you are finished. Nothing more
Oh,
needed.
I'm not finished.
Oh, yes, you are.
I'm not finished.
You're saying nothing more.
John.
John, if necessary, escort her out of the chambers.
I will sit down and let the others speak.
Now, does someone else have something besides what Lily has said? Okay, it said, need a motion to go in executive session to discuss.
Before you do, obviously I presented the package that I did, and I did not get an answer, so do you know when you might have an answer, when you've had time to have looked over the evidence that I presented? I needed answers to those questions.
Well, I think we've said all we're going to say. Lily, you've accused the city of all kinds of crimes, including corruption, conspiracy to violate the law. I don't think we need to give you any more response other than to say that we have followed the law strictly as far as the TIF districts are concerned. We have been audited every year, and the audits have shown that we are complying, we're doing as we should. If that does not satisfy you, that's why we have the state's attorney go to the state's attorney's office and present to him whatever you want to. That being said, we're going to move on. Need a motion to go into executive session.
I have a separate issue, completely separate, nothing to do with that.
Lily, that's all we're going to say. Got a motion made? Call roll.
Commissioner Ricks? Commissioner Goss? Commissioner Patton?
Yay.
Mayor Butler?
Yay.